Okay, we are live. Hey, what's up, my brother?
Everganya,
And
what's going
also,
on, sir?
I'm doing fine. Also, when you get a chance, I forgot. I know we on live, but when you get a chance, you can record this bill that you and I are doing to share to other people. So I would encourage you to record this after it's done. Go on to my channel and record this, and we can be able to share this across, to other people. You know what I'm saying? So we'll be able to share this bill today. Okay.
Okay, all right, sound good, man. I definitely, I'm all about sharing
Okay.
across platform.
Okay. I'm on. This is Peanut Nola 504, and I have the privilege to interview such a talented young man who I've been knowing for a long time. Who's very educational, very educated, young man, black melanated man, Aborigine man that I appreciate, that's coming on to our platform, and we're building together. And this is what something that I am proud to say that I have, that we are together and we on a platform together. We've been talking about this a very long time. His name is Cedric Warren from Fly Tree. He's one of the young men that are talking in conscious. This is what I call conscious community, because he's teaching the melanated man and woman and everybody of color, anybody who's not of color, how to use stocks, and teaching us about money. Okay, most of the times we get on here, we just talk about things, but we don't talk about our money situation, our
Very true.
status. I want to tell you, it's an honor and a privilege to have you on today. How you doing, my brother?
I'm good, bro. I appreciate you. Appreciate you having me. And like you said, we've been talking about this for some time now, and we finally here. But Everett, I just want to say this before we get started, man. You've always been a stand-up guy, bro. You've always been clear-headed, level-headed individual as long as I've known you. I've watched you in person. I've watched you grow as a man. I've watched you take care of your family, man. And I commend you, man, for everything that you set out to do, man. Coach, whether it's coaching or doing something like this. So thank you, bro. I appreciate you.
Thank you. I appreciate it so much, man, because I tell you, it's very, very humbling to know that people watch you. And there's a lot of negative. I'm not perfect, in by no means, but it's amazing that somebody's out there watching. And I just do, everything that I have done has been sincere.
Yeah, absolutely,
But
absolutely.
enough about me. This is all about you. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's talk about what you do. And first of all, for those who watching, and I see we got two people who just showed, but for those who watching, I am very sorry that I didn't give you guys some ups on what was going on today. But for those, you please share. Please subscribe to Peanut Nola, and also subscribe to my guest Cedric Warner with Fly Traders. Subscribe and also press a like, hit the video. You know what I'm saying? Also, this guy is on my platform, and he's about to give you guys a lot of things that you got to pay for out there in the community. He's giving you free advice. So if you want to donate to his cause, I want you to check the description out. We have a cash app with Fly Traders, okay? For those who want to support melanated black people in a cause, okay? Because he's doing something positive. So I encourage you guys to donate to people who are actually doing something in the conscious community, and you can actually benefit from it. He's giving you some juice. I'm telling you some serious juice. Okay, let's go. Let's get it.
Gotcha. Real quick, Everett,
Where are
what,
you?
what
Okay,
platform are you? What platform are you streaming on right now? So I can share the post.
right now. Okay, right now I am on Peanut Nola 504, StreamYard for YouTube.
Okay.
Um, um,
Are you on
this
Facebook?
is Peanut Nola 504. I'm not on Facebook streaming. I'm
Okay,
actually streaming from YouTube.
gotcha. Okay, gotcha.
So
Let me
you
write.
might want to share. Yeah, you might want to
Yeah.
share this to you. I mean to Facebook. You may want to share this to Instagram. That's why I was asking you. You might be advised to to
Yeah, no,
share this, my
I
brother.
got you. I got you.
Because we live in these YouTube streets.
That's perfect. That's perfect. Here we go. Okay, here we go. I got you. Got you right here. I'm about to
To you,
share this
to
here.
Facebook. You
Bear
may
with
want
me
to
here.
share this to Instagram. That's why. And once again, I want everybody to know this is a former Aberson Commodore. And he also played football from Aberson in New Orleans, Louisiana, folks. He's a great father of three. He has three kids. Am I right? Three kids.
Yeah. Yep. Three
And
kids.
they're giving him a heart attack. You know, he have him running around, and he's also a DJ. So if you're looking for a DJ, I'm telling you, he played a music that you love. I mean, you're thinking about making some babies. You know, you got to get with Cedric. Okay, Cedric got some nice music, and it's not that jibber jabber type of stuff. It's the real. For us old people. I'll be come this Wednesday. I will be 45 years old. I'll be 45 years old, and I am very grateful. All glory goes to the Most High that I am, that I'm about to be 45 years old. I don't know where the
Ooh,
years
that's a
have
blessing.
been, where they went. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is.
That's a blessing,
But
man.
for those, like I said, support the cause, my brother, right? And I want to ask you a question. I want to ask you is what inspired you about doing dealing with money and dealing with helping so-called African Americans in the community about learning how to use stocks and bonds. I want to ask you that.
Yeah, absolutely, Everett. And this is one of those things that it was like a crash course with destiny with me. I after graduating, leaving New Orleans, which I'm going to say New Orleans is probably one of the most impoverished, well, at the time, one of the most impoverished places in the United States. The median income was like maybe 18 to $20,000 at the time. A
Wow.
lot of just poverty. Growing up in that
Set up the
environment.
family.
Yeah, so it's kind of one of those things where I didn't realize I was poor until I left and went to college and saw what some of these kids were able to pull off and how their parents were able to help them, in their experience. And at the time, being younger, I kind of looked and kind of despised my parents in the sense because I was like, well, how they go to work, what they doing with their money, that these other parents not doing with it. And it was nothing, man. It was just the cards they were dealt. And I, over the years, after graduating and learning as an adult, being an adult, seeing how the system is set up, it's none of their fault. It's not their fault. So to the young man that's out there, that's that maybe resent his parents a little bit for not making, thinking they don't make the right choices and their approach. It's not their fault. That's the cause they were dealt. Uh, that's the situation it was given, and so that inspired me and caused me to want to learn more and get more information in regards to how to set up my finances, how to set up the foundation to my life and to my family, and move forward like that.
Wow, that's interesting. I know that me coming up from also from New Orleans, Louisiana, not just realizing that it was very hard for us in educational wise. Okay,
Right.
educational wise. We love our school, we love our high school, but for where there was success, there was a lot of failure.
Correct. It
And
was a
I'm
lot of
talking about when
failure.
it comes down, but
Yeah, no, there was a lot of failure, and there was a lot of economic, income inequality that happened from a political standpoint. You had a lot of the tax base that was supporting a lot of the schools and areas leave out. You had a lot of programs and money get cut and go elsewhere. So we were kind of left to fend for ourselves in a sense. Being in class set of books. I mean, it was. I mean, it was just it was a heck of an experience, but it taught me innovation. It taught me, like the famous words of Juvie, how to make something out of nothing. It taught me how to
Wow.
just survive and get what we need to get. And the old saying, like they say, we get it out the mud. We really get it out the mud, and it's just a blessing to be able to be here and do what I'm doing now and watch others
I
prosper as
notice
well.
New Orleans people. I notice New Orleans people, when they tend to get successful, they don't really like to talk about what their struggles was. And like you see Tyler Perry, I didn't know Tyler Perry when at the beginning when I first started seeing him, I thought he was from Atlanta because he talked so much about Atlanta.
Right.
And and then you see Lil Wayne and certain other guys who get successful, and they okay they use the city for their well being, and some of the and I look at certain like Master P, they all left, Master P went and built his life in California.
Mhm.
What do you believe in helping the city of New Orleans, Louisiana? What could we do to help, not just because we get successful, what could we do to continue helping the people that's there that and other struggling cities, because we have to
Mhm.
understand not just New Orleans, we're talking about big cities that
Yeah,
when we get successful we tend to forget that.
yeah, definitely. Um, that's a tough one, man, because it's not. I can't oversimplify that particular answer. I can't. I mean, people leave for various reasons, for their own reasons. Some come from a toxic situation. Some people need to create that therapeutic situation for themselves to be able to get to a point where they feel like they can help somebody else. Um, I like the movement that they have going on now is buy the block back. A lot of people are starting to focus back on that place they grew up at and develop their business credit and get loans now to buy their old houses or old neighborhoods and see the value in buying back their particular block and seeing the equity that's in those areas versus trying to leave. I think Killer Mike did a very good job on his documentary and showing some of those places in Georgia where the person got educated, the lawyer, the businessman, and left the community that was once thriving in a situation where it is. So income inequality, a consciousness of knowing where I come from have value, I believe is the key. And there's no way to teach that per se. That person has to come to that conclusion on their own, but we can continue to present it to them and say, hey, there's value here, there's value in the old neighborhood, there's value in where you came from. By going back, it makes business sense to be able to invest here, or develop this particular street team or team here to take care of whatever the business is in that area.
Okay, we're going to start with your business, and we're going to talk about your business and what could it do to affect melanated people and help melanated people get to where they need to get. Because when I was young, and I used to talk about this all the time, my mother didn't teach me about credit. As much as I love my mother, God rest her soul, I didn't know. My father didn't teach me about credit. I didn't know about I valued renting before I valued buying because I
Right.
didn't know that it was easy to buy. So I want to
Mhm.
know what's your business and what your business is going to help, how it can help the people in the conscious community. How could we benefit from this?
Yeah, definitely. I think with Fly Traders, the reason why I created Fly Traders, it's a lifestyle company. When I say by lifestyle, it's one of those things where we try to look for the next opportunity, and the people that get involved, the people that are connected to me, the people that are connected to the people that are connected to me, they bring them on board and take advantage of the opportunities, whether it's the stock market or whether it's in building some type of business credit or setting up an LLC or a corporation or getting to the private capital, working capital to be able to take advantage of real estate deals or some type of investment deals. So it's all about networking. And even with my DJs, it's the DJing was what brings us together. So there's the camaraderie there. But even with the DJing, we're sharing information amongst us. There's a culture in DJing. There's a culture in in the stock market. Unfortunately, the culture within the stock market, a lot of people don't look like me, and I'm less represented there. So, when it comes to opportunities, I'm getting a lot of opportunities and different things from different sources. But I don't have that friend on the golf course, when we plan, or to be able to say, hey, take a look at this particular ticker symbol and tell me what you think. I think they just announced some innovation that they haven't come out yet, or whatever the case may be, and be able to take advantage of those leads. So that's where fly traders come in at. We, teach you to talk the same language, speak the same language. We're not selling you a system. We're not selling you on bringing nobody aboard to build this. It's simply, lifestyle. It's simply, it's kind of like being part of like Young Money Records or Cash Money. It's a lifestyle type of company. So, you come aboard with fly traders. We teach you the lingo. We teach you what to look for, and you off on your own doing your own thing. You could be in the trucking industry, which I have one of my best friends just bought a fleet of trucks, and he's out there rolling essential personnel, saving lives. And what brings us together is friendship, of course, but his interest in the stock market. So he's out there, he's
Wow.
opening his account up, he's trading, he's doing his thing, not only with Forex. I know that's a popular thing right now, but he has taken not knowing anything about the market to actually executing trades, and knowing how to look certain things up in the market. So that's what fly traders bring to the table. Fly traders bring that camaraderie. Fly traders bring a level of sophistication when it comes to figuring out this market. um, right now we're entering in a bearish recession, a bearish market. And what I mean by bearish is, the trend of the market is more of a downtrend versus an uptrend, which is bullish. And the reason why they call it bearish is because bears attack down. So when you hear the
Right.
analysts on TV talking on TV, they say it's a bearish market. They're looking at the downside of the market. And when you say bullish, bulls attack up with their horns. So uh, they're talking about the market going upward trend. So we get into all that. Get into the candlesticks, which comes from Japan. They were called Maruja bulls, and Japanese used it ancient times for rice trading. It would basically record the buying habits of people the previous days, and let them know how much rice to put out on the market and what price to set the market for the demand of rice. And they did it through these candlestick symbols. I get into teaching that. I get into teaching what the financial institutions are doing, because those are the bullies. Those guys have so much buying power that when they jump into something, they can move it. They can really move things. So you want to know what they're doing, so you don't be on the wrong side of them. It's like an elephant jumping in the pool. There's going to be some ripples and water coming out of there and a big splash. So you want to know what the small institutions are doing. You want to know what the large institutions are doing, and you want to be able to take care of your money, because nobody's going to take care of your money better than you take care of your money.
Right.
So that's what fly traders come in at. We don't particularly push a particular brokerage firm. We don't particularly push a particular product. We show you how to independently do research, and be, make that part of your lifestyle.
So how could my followers and everybody who's following, those who follow you, how could they find you? And what
Yeah,
is your how can we find you?
we on the web. I'm on all the social media handles under Fly Traders, FLY Traders, TRADERS. On the web, we under flytraders.net. You can find information about us there. I'm very accessible. If you shoot me an email and you show me that you really want to learn this, I take the time out with you. Right now, I'm studying to prospective student to get into law school. So I'm pushing for August of this 2020,
Okay.
and I have two schools in mind. So making that happen, I got to sell this house here. I'm in Maryland, and also find new locations to place everybody. And so I got a couple of things going on, but I definitely I have the resources and materials on the website for our online platform that we've created for educational purposes.
What college that you got your education?
Uh, the University of Maryland here. I was a liberal arts background, political science, history, and my background in working was in the financial service industry. I was licensed for securities and also worked in banks and different little firms. Did insurance for a little while, stuff like that. But always been independent. Always been that renegade outside of the financial institutions because
Yeah,
when you're in the
been knowing
industry,
about
you have to push their products, and a lot of their products don't fit people, individuals. Like they don't particularly fit. So I would get in trouble because you know I just couldn't in good conscience put a you know 55-year-old person in a particular annuity. That just didn't work for me. So um it was just kind of one of those things where I had to develop something on my own, a particular vehicle for people to be able to get a perspective and take care of their money. And there's a place for mutual funds and those different funds and CDs and stuff for people, but I'm looking for those people that's ready to deal with this paradigm shift that we have going on with this crisis. Like never in a million years would I have thought that everyone to be online now, everyone to be home, and you need mobility. So I've been preaching this since '05. Like, hey, we need mobility. You need to be able to maneuver in the market. You don't want to get stuck in those big big firms. So um, yeah, that's pretty much my perspective.
So
What
let me
I'm
ask
trying
you a
to do.
question. With fly traders, do you need no through stocks and bonds? Do you have to have and this is to melanated people who probably not ain't college degree people, ain't got a lot of education behind them, but could you at least let them understand that this is not a hard thing to get into? This
Yeah,
is education has nothing to do with money. Okay, you can
correct,
make the money. Okay,
correct.
and so I want to ask you to allow the audience to know that this is an easy process.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's definitely not rocket science. I mean, the only thing is it's going to take a little effort. It's going to take an effort to initially shock your system and learn the information because it's a world that a lot of us haven't dove into. It's kind of like going into law. Like once you go into like law, it seems like another universe opened up of opportunities that you didn't even see was there or any other industry. So once you start learning this, you're going to see a lot of opportunities in there. There's going to be a lot of strategies that you're going to be good with that I'm just not going to get, but it's going to work for you. But yeah, it's not hard. The only thing that you need to do is be able to open a brokerage account. A brokerage account is basically like your checking account, but you're able to buy stock and stock options, or futures or commodities in that particular account. And that's done through those brokerage firms. There's three types of brokerage firms. There's your deep discount firms, which you see the commercials on TV now. They advertising directly to people saying, "Hey, open an E-Trade account or Ameritrade account and fund your trades. First 100 trades are free." That's your deep discount. You have your full service brokers account, which bring you in. That's for your athletes. They lay the red carpet out for you. Have catered food and mimosas waiting on you, and they're ready to take your $1 million and put it into their particular product that they, touting on. Hey, we making this many percent on this account with our fund managers. We have the best fund managers in the world. And then you got your intermediate accounts, which, well, you can call us if you have, something that you want to do, but you don't want to particularly touch it yourself. And we'll give you our opinion on it and, we'll execute it for you. So that's the first thing you need to do is open up your brokerage account. I encourage the deep discount brokers. That way, like I said, it's like opening a checking account. It's online. The only difference is you have access directly to the market in those accounts.
Wow, man. I tell you, man, just listening to you speak, I learned every second. I think that's what made me so intrigued by you. Of course, I'm biased that you're my brother in school and everything, but it's
Absolutely.
bias that I would have. But I can sit here and tell you I know you. And this is not a guy that I just, that I just invited on here and that I don't know. I know this guy, okay? And what I try to tell people, I say, you got to understand that what you see in results and
Mhm.
what you see as a person, is the person genuine. This is not a Umar Johnson. This is not somebody who's just coming up here talking rhetoric.
Right.
This is a guy of results, and this is why I love listening to your, the way you talk, the way you make things so simplified, and that's
Yeah.
what I love about you, brother. Is the fact that you simplify and everything to make other people who's not as quite educated as you understand. Okay.
Absolutely, absolutely, Everett. And like I said, I'm educated, but I wasn't the academic man. My significant other was the academic. Like she goes to school. Like she can go to school just to be going to school. That's not me. I come from a working background, and I'm a real hands-on type of guy that I like to put the application in place. Like how's
Shout
this
out to
going
Pandora's Talk Show Radio.
to
Wow, we got Pandora's Talk Show Radio. We got people listening.
definitely.
That's on a podcast.
Gotcha. This is exciting, man. I appreciate you inviting me on your platform, Everett. I really do, man. This is exciting.
I'm more excited about having you. I'm more excited about having you. I'm just a small YouTuber, okay? I'm just a guy who out here, okay? So
Hey,
I'm just letting you know it's a privilege. It's my privilege to have you here teaching melanated people about this, because when I think about Oklahoma City and I think about when we had the ability, when we had Black Wall Street and the people dropped bombs on it, and
mhm.
and we didn't think that we were capable of doing these things until we looked at history. Listening to
Yeah,
you
man.
teach this,
I mean,
it's very outstanding, man. Thank you.
yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing, man. I think a lot of things have been stolen away from us. And this is my liberal arts side of me talking here. And this is what drives me and giving me the passion to advocate for our people. And the children of Israel, when they were in bondage, we what 400 years out to somewhere around there.
Preach it.
Uh, yeah, they were in the same, not if not worse situation than our people. It's not that we're it's the system. The system is designed the way the system is designed, uh, and we are part of this republic. It's designed to keep a particular status quo. And it's not until we break those status quos, and then when we break those status quos, they change the rules change. So it's just kind of one of those things where until we are truly free and we're able to create and self-sustain ourselves, self-sustain outside of the this republic, become citizens of the world per se, and come up and create our own identity and our own economic driving force. um we're kind of subjected to what's happening, and when crisis and stuff hit, we're not able to sustain. We're depending on uh the government to kind of come in and help rescue us, and we get hit the hardest by being minorities.
Yes, we
And
do.
that's a lot of our Caucasian brothers as well, because white is an attitude, man. It's not
Yes,
skin
yes,
color. If you don't
yes.
have
Speak it, brother.
yeah, if you don't have the buying power, man, you're not really white. You right there with us,
Right.
in the same boat as us. And I think a lot of people are coming to that realization now that we're in this together. Like we're peasants. When we came from England, the system as we know it, this democratic republic, they were peasants. They were looking for opportunities. They were driven out. They wanted their religious freedoms and rights. They wasn't given that, and created this particular system. So I don't know, man. It's just kind of one of those things where we have to kind of start taking control of what we can take control of.
Wow, that's just the way you put it, man. And I tell people, I said, what I do on my platform is not anything against Africa, not
Right,
anything against Caucasian people, not anything against the Mongoloids who they call Native Americans.
right.
It's identity crisis, and I speak to a people that has been told a certain thing that
Mhm.
has been told. I remember when we were going to school and they would just bring that they would bring roots in there and they would push roots on
Right.
on all of us and say that we all come from Africa. And I want
Right.
people to understand that we are better than just being called Africa. We are
Mhm.
better than just being called slaves. What is our
Right.
history here in Turtle
Mhm.
Island? And this is the things that I try to tell my audience about loving thyself, loving yourself, and identity crisis is some of the worst things that goes on. Is identity
Yeah.
crisis, not knowing who you are.
Right. Right. That causes all type of confusion, man. And I tell you, your channel take on some of the more complex issues in regards to being Aboriginal people. Like I said, being a history major, liberal arts guy, those are some of the more
That's the
complex.
reason why I got him on here, folks. He's
Yeah,
a,
that's some of the more
explain
complex
to
issues.
explain to the audience who you are again.
Right. Yeah. So I mean that's some of the more complex issues that we don't have a lot of recorded history. Even though we have a lot of recorded history, we don't have a lot of institutionalized teaching that takes place. I mean, we have the visual things that's
Correct.
around in the ruins, and we see a lot of the stuff and we connect with things intuitive wise, like uh more so in this land than we give ourselves credit for, because of the narrative that's been pushed. But I think if we really started digging, we would see that there were nations here before that were considered Indian, uh, that was tribal, and a lot of us didn't come from Africa. A lot of us didn't come from,
Wow.
across that Atlantic. We were already here. We were here thousands of
When I
years
look at the
before.
statue of the Omni, when I look at the statue of the Omni, you look
Mhm.
just like him. Oh my
Right,
God.
right. When I
Your
look
bone
at some of those
structures,
pictures,
your
right,
head.
look just like my uncle. I'll be like,
You
man,
look just, oh my God.
yeah, yeah, it's amazing.
You don't look African, brother.
Right. I go
I,
over there, they're looking at me, I'm suspect. They're like, wait, no, you're not.
debate. I
Right.
seen a debate. I seen a debate with some two guys, and oh well, look. You from America? That is what it is. You heard me.
I
Let's get
got
back
you.
to these stuff. Let's get back to your channel. Let's get
Mhm,
back to talking about your stocks. You know, I want to ask you a question. So you're doing these stocks and bonds and these things, and I'm gonna be a part of it. Okay, I'm gonna learn. You're gonna teach me, okay? Because these are things that
absolutely.
I need to learn also, and
Right,
everything. I don't just want to have you on as a guest. I wanna learn more, okay?
right,
And
right.
the things that you're teaching is unbelievable. It helps our pockets. And these are the things that I want people to understand. You get close to successful people. Sometimes we get with people, if you were with the same person that was not doing well 5 years ago and they're not prospering,
Mhm,
you tend to not prosper with that person because they are not looking at the same vision that you looking to.
right.
Okay? You are thinking at a higher purpose, a higher energy. You're thinking of bettering lives.
Mhm,
That person is still stuck in the 5 years. You understand what I'm saying, brother?
right.
And
Absolutely.
this is the
Absolutely.
things that we have to understand.
Right.
Hello, Annette B. Go ahead.
I mean, that's one of those things where, you always want to put yourself in a position where you're always continuously learning something new. The minute you stop learning, the minute you stop wanting to, better a situation, and that's the minute you really kind of die in a sense. That's the minute your desires and your vision starts to dwindle away. So, in me helping in people, it helps me uh in focusing and getting a level of accountability in my life. um for the longest time I ran from this, because I was able to be successful without anyone even knowing what I've done. I was able to kind of fund business ventures and fund things and do things without needing to share that. And I'm a behind the scenes type of guy anyway. I don't even like to be the front for anything too much. I know we talked about that one time, Everett. Um, but it's one of those things, man, where now given everything that's going on, and people don't, they're afraid, they don't know where to turn. They just saw they 401k, you know, take a significant hit in the last 2.5 weeks. I want to be able to let them know that all is not lost. You can breed. You have other options, and you can take control of what's happening. A lot of people in 2008 that were about to retire when that happened, they had to wait another 10 years before they can actually retire from a traditional fundamental place. I watched them. I watched them allow their kids to stay with them and the grandkids, during that time because they couldn't find a place of employment. I watched them, with healthcare and, just kind of struggle through, the situation. But I just think with creating fly traders, it causes me to have a crash course with destiny. And I've finally got to a place where now I'm even I'm considering law school, and I'm at a foundational place with my life, where I can take advantage of that and walk away from uh a healthy salary position somewhere, and pursue a law degree. So I didn't come from that type of background, and I want to be able to put these instruments and these strategies in other people's hands to be able to do what 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 their passion is.
Wow, I tell you, and this is what I tell people on social media. What are you doing to help others?
Hmm.
Your platforms when we talk about, there's enough of scandal going on when it talks about social media. We love to hear the negative. Us as a conscious community people, we will draw views of the planet when it comes down to
Right,
hearing negativity. But when it comes to putting money into the Black community, we don't get the views as you would see others. We
right.
don't seem to be sexy. What we have to understand, and this is what I want to tell people out there: get your mind out the sinking place. Get your
Right.
mind out the sinking place, because there are others out here who are all out here for the right purpose of, that are trying to do good by you, that are trying to do good by you. And that's what
Absolutely.
I think that gets me irritated with our melanated brothers and sisters, is the fact that we thrive on negativity. We don't look to people like you. And for those who just joined in, please subscribe to my brother. He's also on YouTube. Subscribe to Cedric Warren, Fly Traders, please. And I ask you, please subscribe to this brother channel, because he is spreading the light of, one of the things that hurt us in our community is wealth.
Yeah, absolutely.
We, it hurts us
Yeah,
because we
knowing how to
can't play
create.
on the even playing field with others because of our mindset that we don't believe that we can be wealthy as the other tribes, the other people.
Mhm.
We can be that.
Right.
So I am so thankful that you're here.
Yeah, I appreciate you
Go.
bringing me on the platform, man.
I'm
That's
sorry for
the-
breaking you up. I just get emotional. I get emotional, and it just,
No, it's all
it is
good.
what it is,
Right, right.
because we so stuck on views. We
Yeah,
want to
man,
see
I
drama.
appreciate it, Everett. Thank you, man. I like I said, it's a privilege for me to be on here, and like I said, I see what you do, and I see how you bring people together, and this is perfect, man. I like I said, anyone that want to, that has a desire to learn or get started, we here. I'm here. I'm here for you, and like I said, looking to build a team. I'm looking to um, just kind of take advantage of opportunities. Like I just got with some guys out of Philly. They've been doing the real estate thing, and they got the business credit stuff down, and that was the next progression for me. Um, was securing some of these institutional funds to be able to have some working capital. And they got this thing down to a science. So I'm connected with to them as well, and I have that information, and I would love to share. They're
Okay,
funding
man.
their
I would
journey.
love for you. I would really love for you to share the real estate part to also to people because we have people today that don't even know they can own a house. I
Wow.
mean, do you realize I talked to some brothers and don't it's the truth. I have talked to some brothers and I've been trying to help them. They
Mhm.
have been renting almost all their life.
Right.
And they don't believe they can get a house due to credit. They don't believe that they can get first
Mhm.
time home buyer programs are out there for you folks.
Yeah, there's a
They're
lot of
out there to
information.
help you. But there are people like Mr. Cedric Warren that have loops that he can help you with.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, once you get plugged in, we have people from
I'm
all type
quiet.
of backgrounds that that do these type of things, and cash is king and credit is king when it comes to moving forward as a people. Moving forward. And don't get me wrong, like Dr. Small said, he said, well, we put here to take care of our families. And if everyone is taking care of their families,
Wow.
he said we get into a lot of silliness, a lot of silly stuff. But if you take care of your family and your responsibilities and the people you consider family, we can build. We can start building, and I truly believe that. I truly believe that if we begin to really start to look out for our families and not be emotional and get emotional and look at the overall picture in developing our kids and being involved in their education, I think we can strive um, in moving forward. But first, of course, you got to put food on your table. It's hard to be involved in something when you're hungry or when you're behind the curve, but a sacrifice has to be made, and that's where we are right now.
Oh man, I tell you, it's scary that, and not to change the topic just for a little bit, just talking about the coronavirus and some of the things, not these people, we have a lot of people who think that it's a hoax, it's a hoax, whatever they want to say, whatever. But
Folks, yeah.
I want you to let the audience know that we know people that actually had the coronavirus in our
Yeah,
city.
man. Like I said,
And people think that this is a lie. This is a joke. This is
nah,
something that the government is doing. I just think what your think is about
yeah, nah, it's not a lie, it's not a joke. It's definitely a virus. It's kind of like influenza. You have something that we live in tight quarters. You have something that developed from a duck, and then the pig drank the water that the duck was in. So now you have this virus that was meant for a bird now enters into a pig, and then we take the pig and then we eat it. Now it's in the human body, and then we have what we consider the flu, the influenza, right? Something that started out as a bird virus that transformed and mutated into something that affects us as humans, and that's what we have here with corona. We live in a world now where we all interconnected. We all live in close range to animals, um, and stuff like this happen. Like I said, I've lost a few people that I've known. One of the DJs, Black and Mild, that was down there in New Orleans. He was affected by the coronavirus, and not only it plays on people with other ailments going on. Like a lot of us as young blacks suffer with high blood pressure, and we sometimes non-compliant because we
it.
feel like
Yes.
we can
Speak it,
kind of
brother.
yeah, we feel like we can kind of overcome this and make a few changes that we heard about and not take our medicine.
We're a man. We're a man.
Yeah,
We're
man.
invincible, right?
And not only that, diabetes, which is very much so genetic, I found out. that a lot of people are suffering from that are not being treated. So that
Yes.
along with the virus could be very dead. Like right now, Everett and I could be on this podcast, and then next week one of us could be gone. This is how fast this virus is spreading. Whether it's government
Wow.
pushed or it was
Oh my God.
man-made,
That's scary.
yeah, it's scary. We have to be able to survive right now. I think people are not getting the fact that this is a survival situation right now. So if your job is not complying or doing something, don't leave it up to your job to take care of yourself or your family. Like you have to survive right now. There's no other, nobody's going to come to save you. Nobody's coming to save me. Nobody coming to save us. We have to be able to combat this on our own, and you have to be able to survive by any means necessary. So, things that we are normally accustomed to doing, we're not able, we don't have the luxury of doing right now. You know, places we're accustomed to going, and the weather's nice, want to be outside, and these are some of the things that's happening right now that we have to sacrifice. It's kind of like during the people during World War II, they had to sacrifice their families to go off to war, the graduations, the proms, their whatever the case might have been, to go and defeat a enemy, right? That was against their interests, and this virus is an invisible enemy that we're fighting. And people, because people are not seeing it, they think they can go and do their everyday things, and it's not working. People are getting sick and people are being affected by it. So please, guys, y'all take this seriously. The CDC is there. Our tax dollars go to help with research and help get this information out for people
I'm
to
sorry.
fund us. I mean, people to share
Yeah.
with us.
Just keep going. Keep going.
Yeah. So, yeah, do what they actually need to do. Wash your hands and protect yourselves. These are our tax dollars that went into this research and these agencies to provide us with information that's going to keep us safe. But it's about survival right now, guys. Like seriously, it's this that deadly. Like right now, and I'm not trying to scare you, but you have to be able to survive. You have to be able to, if there's a contamination with the water or the food, have to find a way to sustain yourself. So please don't take this lightly.
Okay, we have and that B says there's people that's been having it for a while, and now
I
they
believe
don't
that.
even know they had it.
Yep, I believe
I
that.
want to sit here and tell you guys honestly, I thought I had it. At
Yeah,
some time way right back
November.
remember I told you this?
Yep. Yeah, man. It's I think so too. My son, he was sick. They ruled out the flu, but his fever was at 103. So we
Wow.
consistently was trying to get him down. And this was like in December sometime, November time frame. So I really believe it's been here, but you know, given the current administration and all the politics and stuff that's going on um in this country, it's like we missed the opportunity to uh to get ahead of this a little bit and get the people educated on what was happening. But the data, I think once
So
this is
uh
over, the data gonna show it.
now that the stocks what's going on with the coronavirus is it's affecting people in stocks in your business.
Whew.
How are you prepared for this crisis?
Yeah,
Because
man.
this is something I have to get with you because we're talking about stocks and bonds and we're talking about all
Right,
this stuff. I
right.
want to know how is this affecting you in your business?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I think a lot of times out of
Excuse me.
crisis there's opportunity. Right now, a lot of people were in like mutual funds, the TSPs, IRAs. That stuff is getting hit because they don't have any control over uh, what's happening. And those managers cannot do some of the hedge fund stuff that Fly Traders is able to teach you to do in your brokerage accounts to be able to play the bear market. One of the strategies that we use in a particular bearish market or down market like this is selling puts, put options. And basically, what that is, you're selling the right to sell a particular stock at a particular strike price, um, hoping to come back and buy it for a lower price. And you do that through contracts, which are put options. And that's one of the bearish strategies that we use, along with some other things that you can connect with that to be able to secure your money down in a situation like this. But it takes having education and it takes having uh, a renegade type of mindset to be able to operate outside of the institutions. And that's where fly traders come in at, to kind of help you navigate that and put a bunch of these moving pieces together. It's not, like I said, it's not rocket science, but it's just about knowing what options and tools you have to be able to combat when they're saying the economy is tanking. Money just don't cancel. It's exchanges.
Right.
So somebody's making a ton of money right now. Um, and when the news was announced, of course, it affected the economy, people going to work. Um, and what leads the market is fear and greed. So now people are scared, they start taking their money out. And now we have these mechanisms they put in place where they can pause the market and kind of stabilize it kind of artificially. Then the Fed announced that they dumped $1 trillion in the market. And then now they passed the stimulus bill for like another 2 trillion. So it kind of tapered off, and it's giving the people that know how to maneuver time to move their money to something else. And that's something else. I don't know what that something else is right now, institutional wise. Um, because a lot of people, like at one time, Krispy Kreme, people hid their money in Krispy Kreme donuts. For whatever reason, Krispy Kreme was where people was hiding their money at during the 2008 recession, along with Google was another one, and it was a few other like First Solar. That's when I made a Canadian Solar, and First Solar was where I made a good bit of money. That was in 11. So it's just a matter of finding, what are your options and what strategies that you have, uh, do you have in your tool belt that you can use other than sitting there watching your money dwindle and hoping that this thing recovers. Because what goes up must come down, but what goes down don't necessarily have to come back up.
Yes. Um, we're gonna change the little topic, folks, and we're gonna go into a little history because I got the history major on the phone. I mean, on the stream yard.
Yes,
Lord, I
sir.
said the phone because we talk so much, we be on the phone. But we're gonna get in, and we're gonna get into a little bit of what we talk about in history and some of the things that we talk about as far as being. Do you believe that history has been tainted
Right.
and manipulated, as I believe, or I want to know your belief about history?
Um, well, from a westernized standpoint, like a Western, being United States trained, educated. I mean, it's a lot of things that we leave out. We the home of the free and the land of the brave, and we're very young in regards to other places in the world, like Iraq, Iran. They have ancient history. History we reach to. A lot of people reach to the Bible. You know, um, it's just kind of one of those things where it's um it's we're a young country. We're a young, very, very young country. And I think other people need to know that we have history as well. Other people have history as well. So, you know, when we look at our perspective, we have to take into account that other people have history that's not going to represent us in the best of light. And those are the things that I kind of
Wow.
look at. You see what I'm saying? Like we're very
You know
young.
what?
And
The reason why I asked you, go ahead.
yeah, we're very young, and I've heard James Baldwin. He harps on this a lot. He said that we are
Good
like
James Baldwin on me.
yeah, and I mean I like James Baldwin because he just breaks it down to a point where it's in your face. He said basically
I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Go ahead.
Americans, we so tied up in our youth, and we just we're a man, right? And we're so simple minded. Being simple minded is an American virtue. It's like he said, you don't even have to know what you're talking about, and people will give you a pass because you're sincere in doing it. And as you can see now with this president,
Oh,
you know, it's like how does this man, by what right do he have to be the president of the United States? I mean, in the most
of the
fundamental,
United States.
of the United States, with the background and education and like none of that. It's just he's entitled to be able to do that. And there's a level of ignorance that's accepted, and there's a level of I don't know, man, just false facts, fake news or whatever the alternative facts. That was the other thing that blew me away.
You do know about the Black Madonna, right?
The
I ain't
the
talking about Madonna, the singer, but I'm talking about the Black Madonna, and you do understand that I talk. I got that Cajun voice, so I do say. I used to study when I said oil. I used to say Earl because I was so part of New Orleans. It was ignorant as hell, but I understand. But
Earl.
what I want to
Earl.
what I got. Yeah, I used to say it. I used to call it Earl, But let me ask you a question, and this is. But what I want to know is in every country, and even in Russia, that they look at the Most High in Mary
Right.
as being black. So in America, and I think about when Donald Trump says, when he talk about Mexican descent people, he said they're not bringing their best, but they're bringing their worst.
Right.
So that goes back to William Penn, and that goes back to Christopher Columbus.
Right. The
When
congressman, statesman
Britain,
William Penn. Right.
where Britain in the Queen, or we're talking about the Queen of what it that was ran by the Queen.
Hmm.
So did she really pardon all of the bad? Did she pardon the worst and brought to America?
No,
That's what I want to ask you.
this was an opportunity for them
In
to
your
create
opinion,
a problem. You know, um, people just like Australia. Uh, this was one of those Western things where that we hold that as a gem.
Aborigine brothers and sisters.
Yeah, we'll put them over there with them people over there and let them run amok. But it's just, I mean, the history of it is so everything's been so tainted. And when you talk about the Black Madonna, you have to kind of accept the Black Jesus. Uh, you go all around the world and Jesus look like, you go to Korea, Jesus look Korean. You go to Japan, Jesus look Japanese. You go to the Black church, you got Italian looking Jesus singing on the wall. It's no representation of ourselves.
Wow.
About um, one of those things, where we kind of lost in the sauce, when it comes to history and understanding what the Wild Wild West did from a historical standpoint, and the interest of the Queen, the interest of the common. When they talk about westernized, we're talking about all the westernized powers. So when those brothers and sisters get together and say, the great evil, the West, they're talking about your England's, America's, Germany's, your, you know, people that have attacked them over the years. And we have to understand their history and their perspective as well to kind of come up with some solutions to move us forward as a world to heal. So not
I
to
want
get
to
off
ask
on
you
the
a question:
tangent,
is the
man.
fact the,
Hmm.
the fact that when you go to church and you see some churches, and I'm not about religion, I'm about spiritual. But I want to ask you a question: when you go to certain churches, I'm not going to talk about all churches
Hmm.
because not all churches are like that, okay? But when you go
Right.
to certain churches, and if I am a person who wants to be a believer of the Most High, I want to be a believer of Christ, as they say,
Right.
even though his name is not Christ. But I want to
Hmm.
ask you why in certain Catholic churches that they perceive all the angels on the wall. They perceive all the angels, everything that has to do with God as being white. And when you go to church, you see these symbols that does not resemble you as a melanated person. Right?
Yeah,
Then why would you think they would do such a thing?
I don't even think they realize that they're doing such a thing. I think it's almost like a human nature type of thing. You go where you're comfortable, like Cheers. You go where everybody knows your name, and you want some type of representation of yourself, because you might not have the history of having that. I mean, our, as Aborigines, as melanated people, we have hundreds of thousand years of history that just, when you really
It
just
has
start
not been
scratching the
told.
surface, yeah, you really start getting into societies, and you really start getting into the sciences. You really start seeing the foundational things that we laid, with the sciences, and religion, and different things like that. So when you think about the Catholic Church and the institution, it's an institution. They have a right in their own education, I guess, to teach their people, or people, how they want to teach them, I guess. It's unfortunate that now, with them being, the majority in the sense of the westernized world, as we know it, uh, you know, our history kind of gets lost in the sauce, with that. And it's all about the economy. It's all about, you know, who has the who controls things right now. And right now, the money system is um, is being controlled by the westernized
Well,
world.
when you state about money and power, do you believe the theory of the Jewish? And I'm not talking about Jews. I'm talking about Jewish. The imposters of the Bible that we hear, they are called Jewish people.
Right.
And what I want to understand, and what I want to understand from a guy like you and your intellect, I want to understand the difference between a Jew in a Hebrew Israelite black brother and sister like ourselves. And the reason why I said, well, you said, well, some people say, well, how are you gonna say that you are a Aborigine, and then you're gonna say that you're a Jew? I mean, you're a Jew, Hebrew Israelite at the same time. I
Yeah.
want people to understand that in the religious term of the now we're talking religious, and we're talking about where these people, and we're talking about the Most High scattered everybody, okay, in the
Right.
corners of the earth. We scattered everywhere. So what I want to ask you, this is this: you do know the difference between a convert, somebody that learns someone's religion,
Mhm.
somebody that learns someone's origin. Do you believe that the people that sits in Israel are they true Jews?
Man, that's a loaded question, man. I like to, like I said, your channel, you get into some very, very divisive issues, and which are warranted to be questioned. I do question, sometimes, that they can very much so be of Jewish culture. And when we talk about Jewish culture, we're
Culture,
talking about Judaism. The practice of Judaism,
Judaism.
a place where we derive
Yes,
a lot of our laws and different things from. But when you start talking about, like, the beliefs and the Gentiles and Jews and Aborigines being the apples of God's eye, per se, I think,
correct. There we go.
uh, you start getting into, that the Zionist kind of hijacking, something that was meant to be more internal and spiritual.
Cedric, you have to ask yourself, Sid. You got to ask yourself if they would work so hard on taking a person's true language
Mhm.
and taking a person's true ability to learn and work so hard to say and paint the Most High as being, white. Why wouldn't they work so hard? I mean, just think about it. If they would do so much of that and manipulate us with all the side, tell us all, well, why would you think that they love us so much to not tell the truth about who they are? Because tribes, if you look at tribes, how many white people have a tribe? And I'm not
Right.
being racist. I'm asking you tribalistically, where is their tribe?
Yeah, and the thing is, I think we start losing fundamentally. Like, white is not a actual, uh
Because
you know
white is black.
yeah, white
Because
is not
white people are
right.
black.
White is black, right? There's not a actual, it doesn't identify like where you from, what tribe you're from, what particular region, or you know what tribe you're from. It's just something that's come out of the westernized world that was created a couple of hundred years ago, and we're kind of stuck there right now, in trying to get back to learning ancient history, or learning cultures. What who did what, why do people do this in this particular region, and what for. You know,
Right.
so yeah, I think the whole idea of white, black, and that's something that's more modern, westernized, that was created in a sense to control, uh, or help identify something that we don't particularly understand. And uh, I think that comes out of the simple mindedness of the westernized culture. Because when you don't know something, or you don't know something, you give it a name, and you try to give it a name to act like you know something about it. So that's one of those things that kind of came later, that we can't really put too much weight on, but really start to strive to understand. Okay, who are we as a people, and how did I become who I am, and in this particular region? Why do I connect with this particular, or feel so comfortable
Wow.
with this particular group, and start our journeys from there, and then
Well,
the same
I'm
thing
at,
with
could
the,
I ask you this about your journey?
yeah.
When you're a traveling guy, you tend to be a guy that has been all across America and has been some places in your life. But I
Mhm.
want to ask you is that when we talk about Africans, the African people, I have ran across Africans, African people in my life, and man, they have hostility towards so-called African Americans. They have
Right.
stopped. They feel that we are, mixed with the white man, and we are very privileged, and they don't have a liking for us. When I go to North Dakota, the guys that come down, they said
Mhm.
we're not African. I had an argument with a guy who stated, and this is before I had found who I was through papers, that I found out that
Mhm.
I was an Aborigine Choctaw Indian, because I didn't know I was that. I didn't know all that because I found out through that I
Right.
was that. I had to go get papers and find out that my great grandfather was an Aborigine man. So I didn't know this stuff. But what
Right.
I'm saying is, throughout the history of brainwash, people told, bringing up you had the African flag when we were young, telling us all that we rotting roots was
Mhm.
bad for our community, because
Right.
it told us that we can't think for ourselves. When the census came out, I'm no longer, and this has been 3 years, no longer African American,
Mhm.
indigenous American.
Right.
Until we start understanding that when you look at white people, they call themselves Caucasian. They
Mhm.
don't call themselves European American.
Right.
They're either white or
Right.
either Caucasian. They don't they don't they don't relieve themselves from America. And
Right.
I think I get upset is because we try to make ourselves a country and a continent at the same time, my brother. So what I want to understand is why that we believe that another person will love you so much, why haven't they came and get us? If we
Hey, that's a
belong to them, why haven't we been accepted to go back to Africa and have a land of our own? I have to
right,
ask you that.
and that's one of those topics and those things that's happening now. The conversation has started. I think, and to your point, I've been around a lot of
I remember
different.
that's not Mr. Cedric saying that. I don't want nobody to
Yeah,
pull what I'm saying
that's all good. Yeah,
against Mr. Cedric. He knows when he came onto the channel, he knows what I believe in, okay? So I
definitely.
don't want people to think that that is his views. I'm asking you that.
Right. No, and I get it.
Go ahead.
I totally get it, and that it questions me because a lot of relationships. And I was just talking to a young lady about this the other day about the African the person that comes from the continent or a particular country come here, and they're very direct.
They
They allow,
thrive. They thrive. They
right,
thrive. They
drive,
get money.
uh,
They thrive.
right,
They
but they
thrive.
But a lot of that comes. They wouldn't be allowed to be here if it wasn't for the work and the sweat equity of our ancestors that were
of
here
us.
during the human rights movements, which later became the civil rights movements. And a lot of that, they don't particularly look at and don't honor the fact that those people have come and sacrificed and lost their lives for you to opportunity to even come here on a passport or whatever you're coming here for. So that needs to be some level of honor and understanding and maybe some compassion when they're talking to us in the conversation, because I've known a lot of them become rude with me because they don't understand the redlining and the Jim Crow that affects generations, and the injustice in the justice system, that put your uncle behind bars for 25, 30 years, which took potentially money off the table for you to go to school or be able to set some stuff up. So I think the conversation needs to be had. I know Ghana is the return trip, but for me, it just don't seem as genuine. It seems like a money grab. They just coming out of economical crash, and what a good way to put money back in your economy is through tourism. So yeah, well, we have some slave ports here, and we've opened them up for you to come and view and see, and welcome home, brother. Welcome home. But I just don't have the connection. I just don't see it. And if there's anyone out there
Wow,
other
wow,
information, I want to be convinced. I want to be helped along and
wow.
shared information with too. I just don't have enough information to want to return. I need to be educated even more so on, okay, where do I fit in this puzzle at here? And I feel like, when I look at the
Much respect,
Aborigines,
man.
and when I look at this country and the monuments and different things and ancient pictures of the so-called Indians, they look like my uncle or they look like my aunt, you know. So I'm like, well, wait a minute. And when I look at some of the pictures from the continent of Africa, we don't have those features. So it just causes you
No,
to question. It just causes you to question things and want to get to know, okay, what are we coming from here with this?
I said this before, and I told people, I said, I was all cool. I had the African medallion. I was, well, shit. Back when we was going to school, I was talking. I was talking that shit. I was talking, black power and all.
Right,
But
right.
I had to educate myself more and understand that why, this place was called Turtle Island. Man. This
Right.
place here, we were, and that's no, and for those who listen to me, they know that I talk about Pangea, and I
Right.
talk about being that we were connected to Africa.
Right.
So I'm not trying to release myself from Africa.
No,
I
we
believe that
all,
all continents
yeah, like we
were
we
connected
all
to Africa.
we all come from there. The first person
Right.
comes from Africa. I believe that, but in a sense of culture and tribe.
But during time has passed, and
Right.
the people started to look different and they started to evolve differently.
Right.
And I just believe our tribe, the people that's here in America, the very first people who discovered America were us. And
Yeah,
that's
we were
my
already here.
belief. I
I
believe
believe
that we
I
were
believe we
here.
were already here. Right.
And
I believe we were
we
already
have a makeup of, and Africa is our cousins. I believe we cousins with these cats.
right.
They are not the same. We're not the same.
Right.
Our culture, the way we dance, the way we do things, the way we are a people that don't settle for everything. We won't just let nobody enslave us,
Right.
and we have a fight to us.
Yeah,
Okay, we have
absolutely.
a fight to us, and I look at the things that we are, how great we are. We want to claim other lands and not claim America.
Right.
Stop trying to be another. If you want to be Africa, go your ass to Africa, like the white man always tell your ass to go.
Say, go back
But
over.
if you want,
Part of that.
this is your land. This is
Right.
your land that your ancestors died. They blood and sweat. They died. They built this country. Your ancestors built this country. So there's no need for you to want to be anywhere else. This
Right.
is your land. And don't let nobody tell you to go, because when they tell you to go somewhere, ask them where the hell they going.
Right. Right.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, that's one of those, like I said, encompassing that fortitude about yourself, and knowing who you are as a person and knowing your rights, uh, and not getting caught in the ignorance of being overly simple, like we like to do in this country. And then, even during this time when we talked about Corona, we have to be very, very careful because people are willing to throw out the notion of civil rights. People are willing to throw out
Oh my God.
respecting you. They feel like you are a threat to them. So, as you're seeing with a lot of Asian people that's never been to China before a day in their life are being like hurled at and discriminated against, uh and people are willing to make statements that normally they wouldn't uh make. You see what I'm saying? So we have to be very, very mindful about how we treat each other during this time. Um and
I don't
The
look,
least
look,
of
look,
us.
and I want look. You know how I am. I'm no holds barred.
Right.
I don't feel sorry for no Asian people. I'm sorry.
And I
I
get it,
don't feel
man,
sorry for
because
no Asian.
they're perpetuated. They're
I'm
perpetuated a
gonna tell
lot.
you why I don't
Right.
feel. I'm, I'm gonna tell you why I don't feel because look, listen.
And look, I wrote a piece on
Our
this too, but go
our
ahead.
I gotta do what I gotta do. I gotta say what I gotta say
Mm,
because we have so-called African Americans that generate millions and billions of dollars to these people,
mhm.
and they have the audacity to throw our sisters out their stores when they feel a wild hair up upon them. Our sisters buy their weeds or whatever they put in their hair or
Mhm.
whatever, and they make millions of dollars off of our black sisters. They make when our sisters go do their nails, they
Right.
generate so much money from our sisters. Okay,
Mhm.
but when it's all said and done, they are very disrespectful to black people.
Yeah,
And
I've
I'm
noticed that.
sorry, I know how they act towards us. They are quick to judge black people.
I agree.
And that's the thing and now they want us to be sympathetic to them who are going to now you're being raced upon. Now you understand what so-called African Americans have been going through for years.
Right.
You understand what oppression is now. Because people not going to your restaurants because you're an Asian. It's not your fault.
Right.
And I
That's
don't, I don't,
fault
I
the
don't,
fault of their
I am
own.
not here trying to tell everybody don't go to their no, that's not right.
No, no, it's just a
But they
matter of
have been doing, they done
right.
it to us.
Having the empathy,
And nobody
and
said
like I
nothing.
said, it's a hard lesson to learn right now, man. It's one of those lessons. It's hard to learn, but it's like, how can we can't really help you. We would have to come back and strategize.
Brother, we forgive
Yeah,
everybody. Mr. Cedric Warren, we are the most forgiving people. But
right.
that's why you think when we go sing in the choir, we always praising the Most High. Our people praise the Most High more than any nation of people.
That's true.
We are the most forgiving people on. That's why I know that we are the Hebrew Israelites. Because I know that we were brought here to forgive and praise the Most High and bring people together.
Right. We
Because
definitely do.
we the only one forgive. We forgive white people for killing our people. We forgive them for doing mistreating our people more than any nation of people. You know it. And
Right. We're very loving, forgiving people. And
we loving and forgiving people.
yeah, yeah. We
I
also,
forgive people too.
we also have
Don't keep
that
crossing me, goddamn.
yeah. And we also have that mentality, that the coming out of the level of slavery and under this particular oppressive system that causes us to act against one another as well. And it's just it's one of those things where we have to heal from. We have to heal from.
That's right.
So
And they
uh
have great white people out there. I wanted to let you
yeah,
know that I
absolutely,
have
man.
met so many great and white people have some white people that have died for the cause, man.
Yeah, like
I mean
John
some
Brown.
serious
I
great
mentioned I
white people.
mentioned I mentioned John Brown, the abolitionist today, in regards to not wanting to take some black people with them for the cause, because his thinking was that they were like kids. They would would probably get them killed in the mission. And the whole thing with Harper's Ferry, uh, they almost took it over. They almost that would have tipped history if that would have happened, if they would have got that arsenal. But they didn't succeed. They were tipped off, and they were
That's
able
right.
to, but John Brown, the great abolitionist, he was able to leave his mark in history and have the conviction to want to end slavery that some black people didn't have the conviction for. And that's the thing I look at when I look at people. There's a lot of lip service going. There's a lot of liberals, and they say the right things, but where's the conviction? And that goes to the other side too. A lot of conservatives, they say the right things, but where's the conviction?
That's
When the
right.
rubber meets the road, when the chips are down, and you down there with the rest of us, and all the potentious behaviors are long gone. Where are the convictions to be able to make change happen? Because it's
That's
not
right.
the everyday working person that's making the laws, and making policy that affects us. It's the people that we put in place for the republic. And we need to be able to find people with the conviction, and not look at, and that goes for blacks, whites, Asians, everybody. I'm looking for advocates. I'm looking for people with the conviction to walk with me, and go on this journey, and go to war, go to battle. So yeah, man. I say all that to say that, I mean, we got into a lot of deep subjects that we kind of scratched the surface on. And I got to come back, man. I'm gonna have some notes
Oh,
and
we're
stuff.
gonna be building. We're gonna be
Yeah,
building, man. And I want to tell you, I want to let you know I'm a part of your team. Okay. I
definitely,
hope you are
definitely. I
part of the
appreciate that.
a part of the Aborigine team, or you know what I'm saying. I'm showing my face right now. For those who said why he ain't showing his face and what he got to hide. So I'm showing my bald head. Okay, yeah, I'm bald head. I can't grow no hair like Mr. Cedric. His genetics.
I'm lo-
I can grow hair. I
I'm
just
losing edges,
grow.
man. I'm losing my
I
little
don't want to
edges
look.
around here.
I don't want to look like George Jefferson around here. You hear me? So I'm bald headed. You know what I'm saying? I don't
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
have the ends on the side. Going way back. So it
Look, I'm
is
gonna
what
I'm
it
be there
is. You
real
know what I'm
soon,
saying?
man.
So
I'm right behind you, so it's all good.
so yeah, I'm showing my 45, y'all. I'm 40. I will be 45 Wednesday. I want y'all to know. Your boy is about to be
That's amazing.
45 years old on Wednesday, April the Fool. I'm an April Fool, baby. They used to make
Man,
jokes and make laughs. And
my birthday, April 29th, man. I'm gonna be 40 this year, man. So it's amazing.
I know
It's
you're a
amazing.
Taurus. That's why me and you get along.
Yeah, Taurus.
That's
I'm a Taurus.
exactly why you and I are close
That's
because
amazing.
Taurus and Aries are just like that. You hear me?
Right.
So it is what it
That's what
is.
it is. That's what it is, man.
Yeah,
Like,
but I have been enjoying this field with you, man. This is
definitely.
outstanding because and I've told, and maybe we'll be able to get we can get up to 6 people.
Yeah,
I
that'll be
think
fun,
that's what's
man.
so great about
Have a little
StreamYard.
panel going, man.
Yeah,
That'll
we're
be
gonna get
great.
us we're gonna get us a panel, and I want those and if you're hearing me, please subscribe to Cedric Warren and with Fly Traders. For those who watching Mr. Naja Welch, please subscribe to the brother because the brother is like on fire. Call up people for me, baby. I'm on fire.
Hey, since you
You
know a lot
know?
of the conscious community on that, I have a video on that with Bubba Gregory, Dick Gregory, before he passed.
Maybe next time you'll come on and play some music too in the background for us, Jeremy. I
Yeah,
need you to
well,
come do a little DJ for my group.
yeah, I could
Yeah,
plug
could
you
you
in,
could you
man.
like
But look, if y'all go on the
I'm gonna
channel,
need you to
man,
come DJ for my people.
check out the interview with Dick Gregory. He dropped a lot of nuggets and tools in there to help you along your journey, and kind of help center you. And I'm forever grateful. Shout out to his son Christian. So I still send him texts, every once in a while. And it was just great to be around him, when he was here. So yeah, just subscribe, go to YouTube, Fly Traders, and check out some of the videos on there. I
Is
got
there another link? I want you to give every link that people can find you. Could you please do that?
Yeah, flytraders.net. We got Instagram Fly Traders, Twitter. I'm Fly Traders on Twitter. Facebook, you can find me at Cedric Warren. That's my personal page. You might see a little anything on there because I be throwing out the bait on a lot of topics just to kind of get a conversation started. And plus, we got We Coolin' DJs. That's the DJ page. I get on live sometime and just to release some energy and some good vibes, play a little music, get on there and do my thing. So yeah, Everett, I appreciate you, man. You got it out of me today, bro. And when I come back, I'm gonna have some more structure and I'm gonna have my agenda, everything written out. And we're gonna definitely hit it. We're gonna definitely talk about
Well,
a
I
lot of
want you
the
to
stuff.
I want you to know for your friends, your buddies, and everything. Um, I'm the new I'm my platform is changing because I'm going to be an interviewer, and my platform is more of I'm the Black Oprah. I just want to know the juice.
I got you.
You know
Well, you be
what?
wilding, yeah,
You heard
bro.
I said the Black Oprah.
Right.
Did you hear what I said? I said the Black Oprah.
I feel you, Bo. You got
So
it,
it is
dude.
what it is, you know. So
It's all good,
because
man.
I
But
don't
thank
think
you,
she's
Everett.
black lately. Lately, she has not been acting black, so
I don't know what's
it is
going on
what
with
it is, you know.
with the sis. I don't know what's going on with them, but we all under some type of stress, man. I don't, it might be what's
I
happening.
don't know what's wrong with the sis neither. Her and her friend, and
Don't do it.
I
Don't
don't
do
understand.
it.
I don't know what's going
Don't do
on,
it.
you know.
Don't
But
do it.
you're gonna get you're the guest, and you're gonna get the closing statement today. And I want you to, I just want you to talk to the people, man, because you're gonna do this. I'm quiet. Let me be
Oh
quiet. You're
man.
about to close the statement, and I'm going to.
Yeah, man. Wow. Okay. I just want to thank you, bro, for allowing me to come on and share, allowing people to know, I exist in regards and kind of pulling me out of my comfort zone. But I just want to encourage you guys out there that you're gonna get through this time. We're gonna survive. It's all about survival right now, and the things that you're used to doing, we have to sacrifice a little bit. So, make sure you're following instructions and taking precautions and doing your research and taking care of your bodies and all the things that you need to be doing and refocusing just to survive. Um, so yeah, there's a lot of people that's leaving us that was here yesterday that is not here today at an alarming rate, and I want you guys to know that at the end of the day, God He's in control, and we're gonna get through this. If you're feeling lonely, it's only temporary. It's only temporary, and if you're feeling depressed, it's only temporary, and there's light at the end of the tunnel. So just dig within, and dig within that God's put in you. You don't need nothing else around you. The only thing that you need is exercise, water, and God has given you everything you need to survive. Coca-Cola is not essential. All these companies and products out there, they are not essential. The things that are essential, God has already given it to you for free. So just go out there,
Amen.
and we're gonna make it through this. I appreciate you, Everett, man. God bless you, dude.
And I appreciate you so much. And you always welcome to the panel. You always welcome to the hot seat because I know that you're capable of if you can deal with me, Mr. Peanut Nola 504, and deal in that hot seat without getting a sweat, I know you can deal with anybody because I'm gonna tell you like this, I'm gonna give you the questions that's built to make you uncomfortable, Mr. Cedric. So
Definitely,
I
definitely,
appreciate you and thank you so much. All glory goes to the Most High.
absolutely.
Share and like this video.
Yep, it's going on
And I
all my
want you to
platforms, man.
also.
I was trying to do it while I was sitting here, but I was too distracted. But I got you all the way around. I got you all the way
Yeah,
around.
just go back and share and like the video.
Gotcha. Definitely.
All
All right,
right,
y'all.
brother.
I'll see you later.